Welcome back to San Diego People. I'm Ross Becker. Just in Time for Foster Youth is an organization that helps teens transitioning out of the foster care system achieve self-sufficiency by providing them the support and guidance they need after they leave that foster home. Joining us now is one of the volunteers, Adam Baker, the founder and president of Black Mountain Equities. Adam, thanks for being here.
Good morning.
I've done a lot of stories about foster youth and about how they are so taken care of when they're with that foster family. But all of a sudden, the door opens, they turn 18, they end high school, and they get, boom, kicked out on the street, and there's nothing there for them. Tell me about this organization and how you take over at that point.
Yeah, so it's an amazing organization because, as many of us, when we either got out of high school or potentially got out of college, a lot of us said, now what do we do? Yeah. And we end up in mom and dad's basement, if you're in the Midwest, or out here on, in the spare bedroom in California, and you're just trying to really find yourself. Yeah. Well, these children don't have that opportunity. They don't have mom and dad to fall back on and say, oh gosh, now what do I do? And so this organization really has stepped up to help the transition from, we'll call it youth to adult. Mm-hmm. And I think adult changes from all of us. Some people at a very young age are very mature, all the way to some youth at 23 are still making bad decisions. So it really runs the gamut of their age. It's not just 18. It's throughout a period of these individuals' lives on how to help them.
We've been talking about giving and philanthropy, and obviously this organization wouldn't exist without that, because this was one of those areas where government just didn't take over. They said these are adults, they're on their own, and so this is an area where philanthropy, where private individuals or organizations and the money from those organizations had to step in, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. They wouldn't be here without individuals like myself and plenty others who on a yearly basis are making donations.
What does it take to run this organization every year? Just a general number. $2 million a year, yeah, is what I'm guessing. The reason why I say that is I want people to understand that this is not just a small drop in the bucket. This is a big amount of money because you've got a lot of people you're taking care of. What are the numbers of how many foster youth are dealt with in this program on a yearly basis?
I can give you every year at the end of kind of graduation from high school, they've got it's called College Bound. They're congratulating the youth for making the transition. And they announce what schools they're going to. And just last year alone, there was Air Force Academy. I think there was an Ivy League school. So these youth who've really not been able to maybe have the traditional background in life are really extraordinary in what they've been able to do. And 100% of that is because of people like Don Wells, and specifically just that event alone, I think there was maybe 200 to 300 kids just at that one foster, end of year college bound program.
All right, so money's important, and I know you're passionate. You think and you want people to give whatever they can, and many people have the means to do that. And the reason is because you've seen it applied, and it works, right? Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I've given to a lot of organizations, which are fantastic organizations, but they're very large. They're the American Cancer Society. Right. They're ones that absolutely need the money and probably put it to great use, but with Just in Time, the day I wrote my first check, I saw it working. I saw children around me getting computers, getting printers. The first meeting that I had, we took an individual to Target to get him ready for his dorm before he left. So you can really have a hands-on approach and really do a lot. And it might be volunteering, it might be writing a check, or it might be both.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes the check you write is your time.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you can see the results of that right away, too, can't you?
Absolutely, yes. I've mentored a youth now for 5+ years. I'm happy to say he graduated college last year.
Oh,
He's getting his master's now, all from what Just in Time has done for him, and I know he truly would say that Just in Time is the reason for him being able to get from where he was at in the foster program to now getting his master's.
So if there are people sitting at home wondering, well, I'd like to do something, first of all, obviously, how do they get started with this organization? But They just get off that chair like you did at one point and say, you know, I'm going to do something. What was that aha moment, that light bulb moment for you that you had to get up and do something?
So throughout the year, there's a number of events to meet the foster kids. It's everything from they do a big event during the Christmas time. They do a big event, they call it My First Home, where they help some of the youth go and move into their first apartment, and they provide things like bath towels and bath mats and stuff like that. So there's lots of opportunities.
Do they meet before they leave the foster home? So that when that transition happens?
Yes, absolutely.
So when the transition happens, they have someone there right away?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it is not just a, you're 18, go talk to these. Yeah. There is a transition, and there's plenty of room for more youth in this. So it's fantastic, and they do a great job. And dollars are welcomed, volunteering is welcome, and it's an incredible organization.
All right, I want this to be a personal story a little bit too. I mean, you have a family and you have a business to run. Where do you find time to do all of this and to give money and time as well?
Well, I'm fortunate enough to work for myself, so that
so
helps a lot.
You can take time off when you want.
Yes. The youth that I have mentored and I've spent a lot of time with, we kind of more or less brought him into our family. So, you know, 2 Christmases in a row, he's at our house for Christmas. Yeah. So I don't view it as I work, I have family, I do charity. I look at it as they can all overlap. And my charitable giving with time and money can also be when my family's around or my children are around. Because at the end of the day, my reason for giving is to set an example. And it's the example for my children, it's the example for my neighbors, it's the example for coworkers, to see really what you can do.
In this program, we heard from the San Diego Foundation. I mean, they take big money. They do long-term projects. We heard from Mission Fed. They have their own foundation. They do some great work in the community. This is a little different level because this is not only your own checkbook, but your own time. And so what does that say about this community and the different ways that you can give back? I think that's interesting.
Without having someone been to an event, it's hard to explain the feeling of what goes on there, and but it's magical. I mean, to see this group of children, and I say children, they're 18.
Sure.
To see these.
Oh, they're still children.
Yes. Yeah. We all are.
Yes.
But to see all of these 18-year-olds and what they've been through. And knowing, you could talk, each one of them's got a story, and not one of those stories is going to match. And they're all going to be different, and to see where they're at now, and to know that they're going to college, and to know that, every time I went to do my homework, I had plenty of light on, and I wasn't hungry. And these kids don't have that story. And to think of where they are at now compared to where they either could have been or some of the other unfortunate paths that they could have taken is very incredible.
Well, it's an interesting time in our history that we talk about philanthropy because of all the rancor politically in this country and everybody being torn apart. It's good to understand that there's money going to good things. There are people applying their hearts to good things, and I thank you for that in this community. I thank all our guests today for what we all do, I guess, because we all do it together to make San Diego one of the best cities around. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Say hi to the foster kids for us. All
Absolutely.
Right? All right, man. That's it for this morning's edition of San Diego People. Join us tonight for the KUSI News at 6, 10, and 11 o'clock.